I did a tweet today on someone was asking about gravity, and I did a simple tweet which explained it. And I thought, God, that's good. That's really simple. It's in a tweet. It's always been what I've been trying to do. So gravity is just surface tension. That surface tension is an orthogonal response, contractive force to the expansion of light, and that forms a loop and a 720 twist, a braking effect on the expansion, so it has an equal and opposite reaction attracting into the centre. So it's a contractive, attractive force of a sphere, gravity. And I thought that was really simple and straightforward. And so perhaps here's a model that we can take from what science says about the Big Bang. The Big Bang never actually happens. What happens with the Big Bang? The first thing that explodes with an explosion is the light of the explosion moves. So if you have a tiny space, massive density, tiny point, maximum density which explodes, the first thing that will move will be the light. The light will move, making room for the sound shockwave that will come afterwards. So the light moves first. So imagine you've got your sphere, my model of the sphere in your hand, dot point seed, sphere. There's the expansion of the Big Bang, which doesn't actually happen because it gets stopped. Because the expansion of the light, it is infinite acceleration to make space for this infinite density, has a brake on it. Literally a foot brake. So imagine the planet, our planet, Earth, as a sphere of light, the atmosphere. The outside of the atmosphere is the edge of the light. The light expands from the centre out to the edge of the atmosphere. The atmosphere itself is the loop. So the light expands, and there is surface tension existing at the surface. I'll come back to it, why it's there, but there is surface tension, that's a brake. And so what happens is the light, the infinite acceleration of light, instead of accelerating as velocity, accelerates as vector change and does a loop, 360 loop, absolutely analog. Everywhere you examine that point, you'll never find it as a straight line. It's always a curve. When it does that 360 twist, it does also a 360 loop, it does a 720 twist. So it also twists about itself. There's 180 degrees, it's twisted round once. It does another 180 degrees, it's twisted round again. A 720 twist, and then it sets off to the rest of the universe. So there's the brake caused by the surface tension. So what is the surface tension there? Well, that brake forms a bending force at the centre. So you've got your sphere of light, you've got your seed at the centre. That seed is the centroid of bending, the meter 4. It's the mass of light exists. The units of the mass of light is the meter 4, unit of bending. And so now you can see that the sphere of light from the seed, that light, as it's actually got a bend in it. It's got a left hand anti-clockwise bend as it twists, as it leaves. And it's that bend of light which causes the gravity. So gravity doesn't bend light, bending light causes gravity. And so now you've got the system is complete. So you've got a meter 4 centre bending, you've got a distance meter out to the boundary, you've got a surface area meters squared per second squared, because it's an orthogonal response. So it's I meters squared to the positive expansive force, so I meters squared per second squared. And then you've got the loop and the twisting, and that causes it with the brake. And so what you get is then the gravity is measured by negative meters per second squared. So second squared is positive, and negative meters is an equal and opposite reaction to it. So you know you've got negative meters per second squared. Meters per second squared is a Newton gravity. And I thought it was so simple, because it is the Big Bang, but the Big Bang never happens. Simple. And I believe this is what's going to come out. This is the truth, because it references Dr. Victor Levy, 1915. He proves it. It proves that Earth is the centre of reality, and it proves, ultimately, my friends, life after death, and that God actually exists. Yes, proves it. And so, if you knew that, and you try to take control of it, you could destroy all people. You know that people, this matter doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. What matters is power, accessing that power and utilising that power so that you can become the slave master of the slaves. 1915, yeah? Here we are, 2024. I feel like a slave. you feel like a slave? Slave to a system, to a slave master you can't see? The Nazis won the war. The Nazis won the war. And they went into the shadows, and they've been running the planet ever since. When the truth comes out, we'll find out who they are. If you could avoid hanging people from lampposts, that would be good. If it happens, sometimes when fascism dies...
Is that your dog?
Yeah.
No worries.
Sometimes when fascism dies, people die. But let's try and keep it to a minimum. Okay, ready? Take over. Follow the Rebel King.